Pai-chang, also said, "Only a Buddha alone is a great teacher, because there is no second person. The rest are all called outsiders, also called demons talking." Right now, this is just to explain away dualism, just to not be affected by greed for any existent or non-existent things. When it comes to the matter of untying bonds, there are not special words or phrases to teach people. If you say that there are some particular verbal expressions to teach people, or that there is some particular doctrine to give people, it is called heresy and demon talk. You must discern the words of the complete teaching and the incomplete teaching. You must discern prohibitive words and non-prohibitive words. You must discern living and dead words. You must discern medicine and disease words. You must discern words of negative and positive metaphor. You must discern generalizing and particularizing words. To say that it is possible to attain Buddhahood by cultivation, that there is a practice, and that there is a realization, that this mind is enlightened, that the mind itself is identical to Buddha. This is Buddha's teachings. These are words of the incomplete teaching. These are non-prohibitive words, generalizing words, words of words of a pound or an ounce burden. These are words concerned with weeding out impure thoughts. These are words of positive metaphor. These are dead words. These are words for ordinary people. To say that one cannot attain Buddhahood by cultivation, to say that there is no cultivation, no realization, it is not mind, not Buddha. This is also Buddha's teaching. These are words of the complete teaching. Prohibitive words, particularizing words, words of 100 weight burden. These are words beyond the three vehicles teachings, words of negative metaphor or instruction, words concerned with weeding out pure things. Now, these are words for someone of station on the way. These are living words. From entering the stream all the way up to the 10th and highest stage of bodhisattvahood, as long as there are verbal formulations, all belong to the defilement of the dust of the teachings. As long as there are verbal formulations, all are contained in the realm of affliction and trouble. As long as there are verbal formulations, all belong to the incomplete teaching. The complete teaching is obedience, and the incomplete teaching is transgression. At the state of Buddhahood, there is neither obedience nor transgression, as neither the complete nor the incomplete teachings are admissible. From the sprouts discern the ground, from the impure discern the pure. Just be aware, mirror-like, right now. Right now. If you assess the mirror awareness from the standpoint of purity, it is not pure, but absence of mirroring awareness is not pure either. Neither is it impure. Nor is it holy or not holy. Also, it is not seeing the impurity of the water and speaking of the ills of the water's impurity. If the water were pure, nothing could be said. Speech instead would defile that water. You know, if you think. I'm losing my awareness on what he's talking about. Pretty deep. For later, for people, for for background noise for some. Nor is it holy, nor not holy. Also it is not seeing the impurity of the water, and speaking of the ills of the water's impurity. If the water were pure, nothing could be said. Speech instead would defile that water. If there is a questionless question, there is also speechless speech. Buddha does not explain the truth for the sake of Buddhists. In the equanimous, truly so, world of reality, there is no Buddha. It doesn't save living beings. A Buddha does not remain in Buddhahood. This is called the real field of blessings. You must distinguish host and guest words. If you are affected by greed for any existent or non-existent object, you are confused and disturbed by all existent or non-existent objects. Your own mind then becomes the king of demons, and its shining function belongs to the masses of deluding demons. If your present mirror awareness just does not dwell on anything, whatever may exist or not, mundane or transcendent, and also does not make an understanding of non-dwelling, and also does not dwell in the absence of understanding, then your mind is enlightened. Buddha and its shining function belongs to the Bodhisattvas, master of all mental conditions. Its shining function is in the realm of passing phenomenon. It is like waves telling of water. It illumines myriads forms without effort. If you can shine quiescently, then you will penetrate not only the hidden essence, but naturally past and present as well. As it is said, when the spirit has no power to shine, the ultimate power always remains, able to be a guide in all places. The natural consequence of sentient beings is of sticky and vicious nature, because they have not yet tread the steps to enlightenment. For a long time, they have stuck fast to various existent and non-existent things, while they are partaking of the mystic essence. They cannot use it as medicine. While hearing words beyond conception, they cannot believe completely. That is why Shakyamuni Gautama Buddha spent 49 days under the tree of enlightenment, silently contemplating. Wisdom is obscure, difficult to explain. There is nothing to which it may be likened. To say that sentient beings have enlightened nature is to slander the enlightened one. Their teachings and communities. To say that sentient beings have no enlightened nature is also to slander the enlightened ones, their teachings and communities. If one says there is an enlightened nature, this is called slander by attachment. But to say there's no enlightened nature is slander by falsehood. As it is said, to say that enlightened nature exists is slandered by presumption. To say that it does not exist is slandered by repudiation. To say that enlightened nature both exists and does not exist is slander by contradiction, Schrodinger's enlightenment. And to say as Schrodinger's enlightened nature is neither existent nor non-existent, is slander by meaningless argument. If a Buddha would not speak, then sentient beings would have no hope of liberation. If he would speak, then sentient beings should follow his words to produce interpretations. The benefits would be few, and the disadvantages would be many. Therefore the Buddha said, I would rather not explain the truth, but enter extinction right away. But afterward, he thought back upon all the Buddhas of the past who had all taught the doctrines of the three vehicles. Therefore he made temporary use of verses to explain and provisionally establish names and terms. It is basically not Buddha, but to them he said, this is Buddha. It is originally not enlightenment, but to them he said, it is enlightenment, peace, liberation, and so forth. He knew they couldn't bear up to 100-weight burden. So, for the time being, he taught them the incomplete teaching. And he realized the spread of good ways, which was still better than evil ways, but within the limits of good results are fulfilled. Then bad consequences arrive. Once you have Buddha, then there are sentient beings. Once you have Nirvana, then there is birth and death. There. Once you have light, then there is darkness, and as long as cause and effect with attachment are revolving over and over, there is nothing that does not incur a result. If you want to avoid experiencing this reversal, just cut off dualism. Then measurements cannot govern you. You are neither Buddha nor sentient being. Not near, not far, not high, not low, not equal, not even, not going, not coming. Just do not cling to written letters which obstruct it. And neither side of any split can hold you. You will avoid either form of pain or pleasure, and avoid the opposition of light and dark. The true principle is that even reality is not really real, and even falsehood is not false. It is not something calculable like empty space, or it is not something calculable like empty space. It cannot be cultivated. If there occurs any intellectual fabrication in the mind, then it is governed by measurements. This is also like divination, the black cloud cross your path and you know how bad the luck for that. Okay, that kind of bullshit. Which are governed by metal, wood, fire, and earth. Or like sticky glue stuck in 5 places. The king demon could grab you and freely return home. The words of the teachings all have 3 successful steps: the elementary, the immediate, and the final good. At first, it is just necessary to teach them to create a good state of mind. In the immediate stage, they break through the good mind. At last, the last is finally called really good. A bodhisattva is not a bodhisattva. This is called this is called truth? Wait, I'm losing my brains. Bodhisattva is not a bodhisattva. This is called a bodhisattva. The truth is not truth, yet it is not other than truth. Everything is like this. Yet if you teach only one stage, you will cause sentient beings to go into hell. If all 3 stages are taught at once, they will enter hell by themselves. This is not the business of a teacher. having explained as far as the present mirror awareness is your own Buddha. This is the elementary good, good in the beginning. Not to keep dwelling in the immediate mirror awareness is the intermediate good, good in the middle. Furthermore, not to make an understanding of non-dwelling is the final good. As mentioned before, this is one of the Buddhas succeeding to the burning lamp. He is not an ordinary man, nor a sage, but do not wrongly say that a Buddha is neither an ordinary man nor a sage. The first patriarch of this country, that country, that's not mine, Bodhidharma said, no ability, no sagacity. This is the enlightened stagehood. But if you say Buddha is a sage, that is also wrong. The 9 classes of spirits, dragons, beasts, and such species, from the gods Indira and Brahma on down, are all capable of transmutation. And the highest spirits also know the events of 100 eons' time, past and present. But can they be Buddhas? Take the king of the Titans, for example. His body is immensely huge, comparable to 2 of Mount Everest. But when did he battle with Indira, king of the gods? He knew his strength was not comparable. So he led his army of 1,000,000 into the hole of a lotus root and hid there. His powers and abilities were not few, but he was not a Buddha. Mythology I have never heard of before, but it relates, trust me. Trust him. The gradations of language of the teachings, haughtily, relaxed, rising, falling, are not the same. What is called greed and aversion when one is not yet enlightened, not yet liberated, is called enlightened wisdom after enlightenment. That is why it is said he is not different from the man he was before, only his course of action is different from before. There is question. Question after a drink of water. Y'all keep it up. Oh my goodness. You should go buy your own copy of the book. I'm sure it wasn't more than $10. I think I probably got it on eBay. Or if you're my children after I am long and gone and dead, well, we'll do questions tomorrow. Then you'll know that you can follow along. Because you kept the books, right? You kept all my books? Okay, probably not. Speaking of which, I'm going to start reading them for myself because I don't want them to go to waste. Even though when you're dead, you're dead. What does it matter? But